Greetings, greetings, peace and blessings. Happy Thursday, happy Thursday. This is the day God has made. Put his hands on us, blessed us with one more round, one more rodeo. So, greetings, y'all come on in, tap that like button on your way in if you don't mind. Just in case it does help the algorithm. Shout out to I want to shout out to a few people. So shout out to, I want to say Biz 101. Thank you for dropping the financial knowledge. Thank you for keeping us informed, even when we don't even know that that's what we need at that time. I want to say shout out to Miss Yo Thoughts and aka Laverne. Hope her day is going well and she's being productive and peaceful all at the same time. And shout out to KB. Shout out to my boy Bolo. Hey babes, I hope he's getting some rest. And there's so many more, but you know, the ones that are active on my timeline and in my forethought. I just wanted to take that moment. It's 5:04. We got Garrick. Shout out to TJ. Oh my goodness. I know I'm missing a lot of people. Charge it to my head and not my heart, y'all. So, anywho, thank you for being here. Listen, we're going to dive right into it, right? Now, the topic of discussion is dealing with the dynamic of a masculine man and a modern woman. And so there's a lot going on with that, right? And right now there seems to be a divide with our men and our women collectively. And I'm not saying, you know, as where it affects everybody, but it just seems like it's definitely more on the forefront and more in the forefront of our understanding and, you know, our eye gates through the media, through social media, through the televisions, through the programming of the shows, documentaries, movies. It's always seems to be promoting a certain narrative, right? And we have to, you know, we got to call it out. We have to at least make it a part of the discussion, because if not saying anything, it's not helping anything. You got to be able to plant seeds, and I think, you know, based on our belief systems individually, you know, we have to spread awareness. We have to inform or at least share what our experiences are and have been, right? So definitely want to, there's on the thumbnail, there's the topic of discussion or the primary video that I want to do a reaction and give some commentary on. Greetings to y'all coming into the chat. Hey, Double Speak Telecast, salute to you. Peace and blessings as always. I hope so. I hope it, you know, we're able to discuss some things where everybody can take something from the conversation and apply it, right? We got Louisiana. Hey, good peace and blessings. Good afternoon to you and the beautiful Miss Ann in the house, right? So, yeah, you know, we're going to get right off into it. I know a lot of people, if they're not live, they're going live, but, you know, we got to get in where we can fit in, and sometimes we just have to kind of nuggle and noosle our little hips so we can get that room to sit down as well on the same bench, right? So I just wanted to use that analogy. And so, yeah, I just want to get right off into it, and then we'll go ahead and open the discussion up off of the commentary.
You got anything coming up that you want to talk about and tell the audience?
Oh yeah, 1,000,000%. So I have the new label store I'm on right now. So we did 3 shows so far, 3 sold out shows. My next show is gonna cut 2 people, and I'm doing 2 years in the box, 24-hour lockdown, and I'm giving up
Okay, so start
teaching Black
here.
people
Sorry about that.
neuroscience, the power of the subconscious mind, how to reprogram the subconscious mind, and how to do for self. Yeah.
That's dope. How'd you get into it? How'd you get
Um,
into, I guess, the smart or wise aspect of or conscious aspect of life?
I mean, by accident, man. I was in prison. I was in Southport box. I was in solitary confinement. Southport box. It's like the whole, like when you use the jail inside the jail. So, I cut 2 people and I'm doing 2 years in a box, 24-hour lockdown. And I'm giving up on life, right? At this point, my whole life, mother was a drug addict, father wasn't there, homeless, in and out of the system. Um, so by the time I got to prison, it, man, the devil beat me, right? Like the devil just flat out beat me. And I gave up. And I said, when I get out the hole this time, as soon as I get my hand on a knife, I'm going to stab a police officer. They're going to either kill me or give me life in prison. And that was it. So God came to visit me in that cell, and it felt like I almost died in that cell and was kind of like reborn. And my life just became clear, like purposeful, right? Like everything I went through with my mother, I was molested by my mother. Father wasn't there. Mother was a drug addict, you know. So everything that I went through in the early part of my life, it made sense. And God kind of gave me like this revelation, seeing like, okay, well, you're strong here, you're smart here, you're creative here. This is who you are, and this is what you're gonna do. And then from prison, I started cultivating a plan um, to strengthen my family, put myself in a better position mentally, spiritually, financially, emotionally, and that's what it was. It was tough, right? Like I got a song I'm working on now called "Motherless Child."
Okay, so um, so the brother has had some challenging times in his upbringing, to say the least, right? So he's very transparent. He's letting it be known. His mother and his relationship is not. It hasn't taught him. It's toughened him up, but it hasn't taught him what that relationship should have been like, what it could have been like, the dynamics of a mother that wants or is invested and truly loves her child and had her child for the right purposes, right? So you can just, where I stopped the video, you can kind of see the expression on his face, where I'm sure, it brings back vivid memories, because it wasn't just a one-off incident or a one-off time in their relationship. This was ongoing. This is continuous, and it really set the tonality of who he is and was to become. In my opinion, it definitely made a huge impression. So he speaks on his mother molesting him. Right now, I can't say that I know or that I have a clue as to what that. First of all, I'm not a male. I'm not a son with the dynamic in the relationship with his mom, but I, would venture to say that this runs super deep. And whether he's learned how to cope with it or not, it has helped at least teach him what he didn't want or what he didn't feel he deserved, but he took it and he turned it into power, and he allowed it to, of course, bumping his head and going through things. He allowed it to toughen him up, and he allowed it to um, convert into something that he deemed to be positive, or at least establish a positive trajectory in his path and in his journey, right? So just giving some context and a preface to where the conversation is going to go, because it gets live, y'all. It gets spicy. So I want you to watch the mannerisms and the body language of both of our gentleman and our woman. So just observe the both as you're listening to the words that are being uttered, because I always say no response is a response. You can look. That's what I think social media has really stripped us of collectively, is that, that human contact, that human interaction. Energy is real, vibration is real. This stuff is live and real, right? So anyway, without further ado, let's go ahead.
Sometimes I feel like a motherless child. Sometimes I feel like a motherless child. No support from my mother. Sometimes I wish I would have came from a different pussy, C-section. Even in birth, she didn't push me. Every other week, you got a new man in the house. You got the nerve to point to him like he the man of the house. And they all wanted me to call him dad. They all wanted me to call him dad. I grew up confused. I got beaten since I was black and blue. And you wonder why I'm in school acting a fool, cutting class, picking fights, couldn't follow the rules. Free lunch won't cut it. I'm still hungry. I need food. Hooked up with Daryl, selling weed now, mama. I'm making moves. Yeah, mama, I'm making moves. You put a pins warrant out, left me in the system. Plus, you ain't called back. They ain't love what you call that. If you ain't want a son, mama, shit. Should have left me in that ball sack. Two sides to the story. But I ain't having it. Too many demons inside I got to battle with, and fuck whoever trying to play devil's advocate. Y'all motherfuckers don't understand how real this is. I was just a kid, 5. Had to look my mama in the eye. Half sleep, half high. And you wonder why I'm outside smoking weed, pistol in my pocket, throwing up gang signs. You a junkie, mama. How you gonna demand respect? I guess you beat me because I look like the man that left. I spit an image of my daddy, huh? That's why you slap me? Can nothing please you? You ain't never happy. Straight A's on report cards getting ripped. Christmas, birthdays, I ain't get shit. Every man I see you with call you bitch. This is what I deal with. Yeah. This is what I deal. Sometimes I feel like a motherless child. Sometimes I feel like a motherless child. It feels like God cursed me and my brothers, because all I do is suffer. And the pain came from my mother. A rose won't grow from this concrete. Roots getting pulled out, petals getting stepped on. You came home high, beat me half to death. You said that I slept wrong.
Okay. Ooh. So that's a lot, right? Now, I was trying to find an endpoint to the song or to the rap, and the one thing that I think we can agree on is that he's got nothing good to say. No good seeds were planted that took hold in this young man, right? And that's unfortunate, even though it appears that he, converted that pressure, and he bursted into a diamond. The fact of the matter is still he remembers, and he will always remember that pressure. He will always remember the fact that he felt that his mother did not want him, or his mother was incapable of bonding with him, and that should be a natural instinct, but he didn't. Based off of him, he didn't get that from her, right? He was ashamed of her. She deserted him. She abandoned him. And if you think that that does not set the tone for the direction that a boy will grow into a man, this will dispel that, right? In my opinion. And so it really kind of, we cover pain well, in my opinion, especially when it's instilled in you from a very young age. We're very adaptable creatures, and we definitely will learn how to mask that pain, because pain in our culture is looked at as weakness. And so if you look vulnerable, or if you look like you've got weakness or weak spots, then of course you're going to attract prey at some point. And so, it's one of those things that I think kind of based off, or I would even go as far as to say instinctively, for survival reasons, if nothing else, that we learn how to maneuver, mask, and navigate with that pain, whether we feel that it's gone, whether we've made our peace with it. It still happened, and the body and the mind is not going to forget that, right? But I am glad that he was able to at least learn from that pain and change the trajectory of his path, whether people agree with him or whether they don't, and him being so unapologetic about where he is at this point in his journey, and that he is on purpose. And that is one thing that to me is a characteristic absolutely of masculinity, is when a man is on purpose, it comes natural and it can be exuded because it goes with the territory, right? You are masculine if you are on purpose. And if you are on purpose, it yields masculinity. So, with that being said, let's continue.
Bloody tampons, empty bottles of liquor, crack valves on the same bed I slept on. How the fuck could I sleep wrong? You got me laying on a bed I could barely even sleep on. So, that was the life, right? As a child, was very dysfunctional early. And I going through demons and everything. I mean, there was a lot of rage, a lot of anger. So when I got to prison, I couldn't run from myself. I couldn't hide in the blunt. I couldn't hide in the bottle. I couldn't, I was a playboy. I couldn't hide in the pussy, right? There was no more windows to look out. I had to look into the mirror, and I looked in the self. And then it was like this self-realization that happened because of all that pain and trauma. So when I got the call sheet and they was like talking about, father not being there, a lot of times we talk about, deadbeat daddies, but it's a lot of deadbeat mommies out here too as well. And I was blessed to have both.
Are you close to your mom right now?
Oh, absolutely not. Absolutely.
I detected sarcasm when he said, I was blessed to have both a deadbeat mom and a deadbeat dad. So, that's not something we can change. Our That's why parenting and having children is probably one of the biggest, if not the largest responsibility we'll ever behold as humans, is to procreate and be responsible for another life, even if it's for a period of time, right? But you can definitely see the pain. Not to belabor the point, let's go.
And again, listen, I think people, you know, I had to learn to forgive, let go, and love from a distance. So I can say, fuck my
Forgive, let go, love from a distance. And I think I missed one. I think he might repeat it. But forgive, let go, and love from a distance. Even if it's just those three, that's a good system. That's a good way of not looking at it from such a painful place, but looking at it as a teachable moment, a teachable lesson, learning what it is that brings us and yields us pain, right? So let's continue.
mother, but I'm not affected by it. And
I don't agree with that, but I yield the floor.
a lot of times I feel like the victim gives the victimizer power over closure. And I spent a long time in life waiting for that closure, waiting for mommy to be like, I'm sorry, and I spent a small portion of life trying to find the love I never got from my mother in a woman. And then I had to realize that a woman can't give you a mother's love. A woman can give you a woman's love, just as powerful and sometimes even more powerful if you didn't have a mother to give you love. So I had to realize that, separate the two, forgive.
And I think, and I'm learning that when you have women or like sons coming from single mom home, mother homes, or single parent homes where the mother has raised them primarily and has been the primary influence in his life, that there has to be taught a distinction, because if not, they're going it's natural because that's all they know, right? And so when you go from your mother to a woman, there has to be components that definitely are distinguished differently. The behavior has to be different, the mannerisms have to be different, the role has to be acknowledged that it is not the same. And I had to learn that, um, having sons myself, right? So I just wanted to interject that there. And welcome to all of those coming into the chat. I'm sorry, I kind of been in um, a mode. So to those, hey, we got Writers for Life in the building. Thank you for being here. Thank you, Miss Ann, the beautiful Miss Ann. If I haven't greeted you already, so let's go.
Give my mother, love her from a distance, and take the power of closure out of her hands, put it in the hands of God, and that's where my healing and closure came from. Yeah.
Do you think? All right. What's your if somebody said smart? What's your ideology or definition of forgiveness? How would you how would you define forgiving?
See, I gotta break shit up, right? I like words, right?
Etymology.
So it's not for me, it's for you. It's for you, victimizer. And I'm giving the energy back. You can hold that. And I'm free and I'm moving on. I'm letting it go. And a lot of times, we have to learn how to let go of shit. I had to learn. My mother's evil. Now, if you have a good mother, appreciate her. We're not mommy bashing over here. But the reality for me, you know, my mom's had demons that she never got over. And sometimes children pay for the sins of their parents. And I paid for those things. And I paid with pain, blood. I could have lost my life. So, and I remember having a conversation. I spit in my own mother's face. I remember having a conversation with her, ready to kill my mother after years and years and years of saying, you ain't even gonna say sorry. You're making excuses.
So that enforces and really makes clear to me that a lot of that pain has not really been addressed. Um, when you get to the point, I felt wronged by my parents as well at times. Of course, bringing children up, you're not going to do a perfect job. There is no such thing. And somebody's going to get offended. There are going to be decisions that you're going to regret. It just goes with the territory of being imperfect, right? For him to say, instead of looking at forgiveness as a decision, he's looking at it as like, no, I'm just going to give you your energy back and I'm going to move around, right? But again, we can't erase events and things that has happened to us or that we feel has happened to us. And so I know that this is kind of shifting a little bit now that I'm really breaking this or giving my interpretation of what I see as commentary for this video. Everything has an origin, everything has a beginning. Doesn't have to be a bad thing just because you had a rough beginning or you had some trauma. We've all had trauma. We all live with trauma. It's what you do with it and how we respond to it, and how we, like this young man has said, that he's done is converted into fuel to propel him to be a better man. Because guess what? He realizes what he doesn't like, what didn't work for him, what did not benefit him, and now he's figuring out what does, right? So let's continue.
You locked me in closets to go out and get high. I forgot I was in there. And I figured out how to get out the closet. And then when you came home, you beat me within the inch of my life. Like, why you out the what? Like, man, listen, I'm not gonna, so how I feel about forgiveness that energy is for the victimizer. And the victim needs to give that energy back and let it and just leave it there and move on. Because if you keep trying to forgive or wait for the person to say sorry, or you conjure up the strength to be strong enough to say I forgive you, that's too much, man. I ain't doing all that. Fuck you. I'm keeping it moving, and then I'm gonna forget you. I'm gonna leave it alone. It's like an animal. You ever see a beast in the jungle? If you capture a beast in the jungle and you tie it to a tree and it's and you leave it there and you drive away, you know what's gonna happen to the beast? That shit gonna die. It's gonna get tired. It's
But like, so I asked you because I think that, and this is my perspective.
for sure.
I mean, forgiveness is not for them; it's for both.
Mm, okay.
Right? Just a simple concept. Right?
Okay.
But I think that
Too. And this is what I had to learn, right? Because I got 21 little brothers, right? I got 8 brothers, right? Everybody's pain threshold is different.
Okay, so I definitely want to
I forget what I.
address this and bring this up as a talking point, because I thought he said a lot of really good things, and I think I probably played the intro a little bit too long, because now the meat and potatoes, this part I thought was really on point and relative to the conversation and to the title of the video. So let's go ahead and dig off into it. Pause.
What I dealt with, or anything, right?
Mhm.
That means there's still, some part of me that I got to work that part out, right? And I think there's a beauty though in the adversity for those that survive,
Mhm.
right?
I want to ask him too, and this is what I had to learn, right? Because I got two of my little brothers, right? I got 8 brothers, right? Everybody's pain threshold is different. Right? Everybody's solution is going to be tailor made to the individual, right? Some people might have to Gandhi, Kumbaya, Mother Teresa, forgive, right? Some people gonna have to say, "Fuck you, I'm a chainsaw, brush your teeth with a chainsaw, and give you the pain you gave." Everybody's pain threshold is different. Everybody, you know, some people need redemption, some people need revenge, some people need closure. Listen, for me, I had to leave that shit alone.
Throw it out the window.
Yeah, and you know, so I'm an advocate for finding your solution. I'm an advocate for understanding your medicine, and then once you identify what is suitable for you, then you put that in motion. Self-reliance is a virtue. God blesses the child that has his own. And then there's an unapologetic healing that takes place. I'm not here to heal for you. I'm not here to heal for you. And I think people make that mistake. Women, men, especially in our culture. I'm here to heal for you. Well, you're not healed, and you need, man. Listen, man, I'm good. I'm good. I didn't heal for you though.
Did you think you healed for somebody else?
I heal for myself, bro. Listen, what you drink don't make me pee. You see, what I eat don't make you shit. Tonight when I leave here, I'm going to the studio. I'm gonna eat some lamb chop.
Okay, so I the way that I see and view his perspective is that whatever separates him from the maternal position or energy he feels has served him better than being connected, than caring, and feeling disappointed, feeling again abandoned, and these things. But what he said was, I thought, very, very true. Everybody has a different threshold of pain. And I think it would bring a lot of people peace if they understood that's why your blessings are for you. That's why whatever God has for you is for you. Everybody does not have the same capacities. Everybody does not have the same threshold. That is why there is a specific order, in my opinion, that God created when he created men and women. We have our own roles. We have our own characteristics. We were created for different things. And our thresholds are very different. There are some things that women can sustain that men cannot handle, such as childbirth. That's more mental than it is physical, in my opinion, because I've been through it, right? And then there's the dynamic of the men being physically strong, or being able to make a lot of decisions coming from a logical place, as opposed to an emotional place. Women tend to be more emotional, which suits the role of motherhood and the maternal pathway to really rearing children, right? We have to have some level of emotion. And so for him to be able to mindfully separate those two and be intentional about that, there's a reason why it takes a man and a woman to procreate. One cannot do it alone, contrary to what world we're living in and what concepts are being promoted to the masses, right? So I'm going to put the link to the video in the description. You can go and watch the full video. It's really, really very informative. I wanted to, there was actually a different portion of the video, and it wasn't this one, where the body language between this young lady and this gentleman, the smart man, was because they didn't agree. It really kind of got spicy to where he was saying some things that were really straightforward. But you know what? Listening to the preface in the beginning of the interview really just opened my eyes and gave me context as to what promotes him thinking and feeling the way that he does. And in some ways, it can probably be interpreted as masculinity. But in my opinion, masculinity comes from a place where certain values and characteristics are instilled, not necessarily from people that are abandoned or feel neglected or they feel like they're lacking some things, right? And so There's another shout out to this podcast. I think it showed what it was. Eight table by eight. Oh Lord, I want to get it right. Eight at the table. Eight at the Table is the name of the podcast. Shout out to them. I'm newly subscribed to them, but I think that they have some really thought provoking and great topics that provoke some great debates. People uttering their belief systems, coming together and agreeing to disagree. And then hopefully, when it's all said and done and they leave the platform for that day or for that time, that somebody has learned something or they all have learned something. So now the next one I want to go to, these are short videos. I'm not going to be very long, but I did want to kind of piggyback off of some of the trending topics on social media that's reaching millions and millions of people, far and wide, from older to younger and younger to older and the like. And it has to become okay at some point, and there has to be some positivity and there has to be some positive reinforcement that is once again attached to masculinity. For some reason, in the culture in this time that we're living in, masculinity it seems it's being interpreted as a threat to anybody but the man, but the masculine man, right? Women are not receiving it. Some women are not receiving masculinity, and they're interpreting as being a threat or as something that does not benefit them in the short run or the long run. And then you have, of course, the puppet masters behind pulling the strings and definitely putting out narratives and constantly reinforcing visions to us of how inadequate and inept our men are, when that's not true across the board. Just like any other culture, just like any other nationality, people are going to have their levels, right? And it's all based off of energy vibration. If you're low vibrational and you generate low energy, you are going to attract like minds. I think that kind of gives a different perspective to the go along, get along gang, and it being about who we like. Definitely, that's just the law of attraction. You're going to navigate and you're going to migrate and you're going to connect with people that share your same vibration and your same energy, right? So let's go ahead and I want to provide, since we're vision oriented people, I want to provide a different vision of what masculinity can look like and how we can interpret it as not being a threat, but as a blessing and as an acknowledgement that whatever God you serve has provided us with our necessary roles. And men are not, we're not created to be feminine, in my opinion. I know I'm going to really irritate some people, but that's just my belief system. And I definitely have a right to my own opinion, as we all do. So let's go ahead and hold on a minute. Okay.
Generation of men raised by women, creating essentially boys, not men, which is fascinating. And I don't put that on women, to be clear. But actually, that is correct. You have boys being raised by women.
And not being raised by healthy men.
That's what I mean. They're not getting a healthy masculine. But what ends up happening, and you see this a lot of my female clients will say this, they just feel like they're finding men I would say boys, who are looking for a mom. They're simply looking for the continuation of their childhood
know any better.
experience because they don't know anything else. And they don't know what it is to be a man and to show up in the masculine as a man.
That destroys polarity.
Exactly. Neutralizes that polarity, which is neutralizing that sexual energy, which is one of the most beautiful expressions here on this planet.
Okay, so he said something very key toward the end there, and he said it neutralizes sexual energy. We are in a time where you have men and women that are interested in procreating. We have people that are promoting, the pro-choice movement. You don't have people going into committed relationships. People are marrying at the same level and same rate as they have in the past. There's a lot of energies that's shifted. You got men wanting to be women and women wanting to be men. That's definitely going to put a wrench in procreation. You're tinkering, you have some people that are tinkering with different ways of conceiving that is not natural, that doesn't use any sexual energy. It is definitely something that I thought was key to note and to kind of expound on a little bit. And just to accentuate, yeah, you're right. People they're not really, at least it's not connected. The sexual energy is not connected to procreating more than it is from a lustful place. In my opinion, I feel in my belief system, I believe that originally men and women were created to procreate, and that came primary to the sexual energy and to the chemistry. It was just a facilitator to get you to have children and to increase. So yeah, just looking at the presentation, right? Looking at the way that this gentleman is sitting, looking at how calm he is, it doesn't come off as if he has a point to prove, or he doesn't feel like, you can tell he doesn't feel like he hasn't been heard, that somebody's talking over him, that he's being disrespected. He has taken command of the room, of the conversation. Even though he's being asked the questions, but you can hear a pin drop in that room while he addresses or answers, right? So there is definitely an energy that accompanies masculinity as well as femininity. The focus and the emphasis today is being put on masculinity, because when you have this sprinkle, sprinkle, drizzle, drizzle movement going on, and you got a whole mass and community of women that are ticked off because the roles have now been reversed, and all the men are doing is putting a mirror up to the things that they have been dealing with and have been subjected to from a lot of women that believe that they don't have to do anything but exist, but get given the world. um Things like that really make me question if I'm in a matrix or not, but I digress, right? Because what world are we living in? I ask that often. But not to belabor the point, there is just a certain energy that absolutely comes off from a man that is in tune with his masculinity and uses it for the good and utilizes it to uplift and to protect, and not to belittle and not to whine about or not to bemoan, right? So, hey, Rachel. Hey, Miss Tashana. Life with Tashana's in the house. Do I have any mods? I can't see. Hold on a second. I appreciate y'all being here. I would love okay, so give me a second. If y'all don't mind, just give me a second. I've tried multitasking and I can't really and I'm not as good to it, right? So if I made you a mod and you're not happy with it, definitely let me know. No problem. And for those that are able, if you can drop links in the chat, please. And for Life with Tashana, we got Double Speaks in the house. We got Writers for Life that has a page. If y'all can go and sub up and those links can be dropped, I would appreciate it. And if I missed anybody and my mods are aware of it, then by all means, drop the links. I definitely want to continue to support as I get supported on a day-to-day basis. So, what I'm, basically, like I said, it's an energy. So, I just wanted to kind of observe and point out certain things and characteristics where a woman can tell, when it comes to a man's masculinity, if it's authentic, if it's coming from a good place, for lack of a better term. You can tell when a person's not just a man or a woman, but a person's spirit is right, or it's in place, or it's intact, or it's there to serve the good. And that again is through vibration and energy, right? So this next one, let me tell you, this is, to me, I think this promotes a great opportunity for dialogue, because I wanted to get, to me, can't no woman tell me how a man is masculine. And I'm not trying to be sarcastic, and it may seem even somewhat hypocritical, me speaking on behalf of masculinity, good masculinity, but I'm just giving my interpretation as a feminine energy to be able to share that. But in no way, shape, or form am I here to speak for a man. I would never try. It's not my place. And that's not something that's not a responsibility I want or to even attempt to. So I understand my role. I understand what's expected of me. In regard to masculinity and femininity, but I definitely wanted to give this perspective, and this also came from a man. So let's go.
You will always be too masculine for a man that's not much of one. Because the only reason he's calling you masculine for having your own dreams, ambition, being assertive, and being a leader in your own right is because he's questioning his. Maybe he don't know how to lead. And the fact that you do makes him feel insecure. So when you are doing things like being assertive or following your dreams or getting money, that makes him feel smaller. Because the world has told him that if he ain't got that, he ain't much of a man. It bruises his ego when you are right. When it hurts me as that man that don't know how to be vulnerable or transparent, that don't know how to understand my own emotions, I'm getting hurt by the fact that you are triggering my insecurities as a man and my lack of confidence in my own masculinity, and you're not validating it by acting weaker. I'm going to try to hurt you back by calling you masculine. Because I've learned, won't nothing hurt a woman like calling her a man. You will always be too masculine for a man that's not much of it. And y'all be letting these unqualified niggas make you question yourself. Am I masculine? Am I? You will always be too.
Okay. So I can tell that has probably ruffled some feathers at some point. Now, my take on this is, in a sense, he's trolling, right? But he's dropping gems in the process based off of his perspective. So it came from a man, whether I don't know this gentleman, I don't know, I'm not subscribed to his page. I mean, I've seen him and he's been around a long time, but I'm not that invested, right? But I just, for the point of context and conversation, I wanted to use this video as an example and as a demonstration of what masculinity can, or what it can look like, or what it could look like. And so the point that he is bringing out that I actually tend to agree with is the fact that a man that is really masculine and established in his masculinity, he knows who he is, he knows what his purpose entails, It's not a threat to a woman that can identify, first of all, accept her feminine role and identify him as a masculine man and know how to deal with a masculine man, right? How to submit, how far to submit. He is saying that if you're dealing with a strong woman and you're not cemented in your manhood and your masculine energy, that you're going to feel threatened. You're going to feel good, Audrey. You're going to feel slighted. You're going to feel inadequate in some regards because, again, and I keep reiterating this, and this is not rocket science, it's science, and this is simple and it's not complicated, but we were created for specific roles and we are backwards. A lot of us, and I'm generalizing, are backwards. When you have single mothers raising boys, you can't teach a boy how to be a man. You can help get him to a point where he can navigate and hopefully figure it out for himself without being too traumatized, right? And going through so much to where he can't correct his behavior or learn from it. But you there is a line. We are not in our designed roles, and this world has turned totally chaotic, in my opinion. You got people that don't know who they are from day to day, and they're going based off of their feelings, how they feel. How I woke up today, I just want to be a dude. I want to dress like a dude, even though I got tatas, vagina, and a booty. I'm gonna walk around here today like, I'm towing cars and I want to paint me a little mustache on, or I want to go breed dogs, or do something, go do something masculine as a female. And then we got men wearing dresses, tights, shoes with dress shoes with no socks, with the pant leg tied around the ankle. Now they make them to where you don't even have to, fold and put a cuff on it. That's how they fit. You can see a man's entire silhouette through a pair of pants. I don't know about anybody else, but I was raised, all of my childhood, men wore baggies, or they wore slacks, was dress. Everything was, and I'm not saying I'm not, men dress how they want to dress and they make the decisions on their own style and why they do what they do. But just like with the sagging of the pants, I can't stand that. I think it is so sad, the number of grown ass men teaching our younger growing men that that's okay. And when you tell some men the origin of that and how that came to be and what it symbolizes, they don't care. It seems like they drop them even lower. So we're living in a time in a community where things are really, really unique and different at this point. But we're confused. We're confused as a society, and that's by design. And we have to speak up and we have to say that it's not extinct, that this is what it was designed to do. And guess what? And if we follow the roles and sit in the roles that were designed for us, then it will yield more of the desired outcome that was intended by God in the first place. Right? So anyway, definitely that was one of those conversation pieces for me, because sometimes when men speak on behalf or kind of advocating and calling other men out, that can be a sticky situation and a sticky position to be in, right? So let me just see. Yes, Miss Ann, earrings, necklaces, and bracelets too. All of it, purses, all of that. I mean, their facial and head on the hair, lined up. They got the eyebrows lined up. I nose hairs trimmed, all of that. I just don't fingernail polish, toenail polish. It's a lot to digest. I'm telling you. Miss Rachel said you're describing all the Peter Pans of the world. Yeah, with the pants and then the sock, the shoe, the dress shoes with no socks, and oh, I can't. And when it, it's a lot. That's all I got to say. I digress, right? So welcome to anyone that's new to the channel. Any new subscribers, I appreciate you being here. Thank you. Peace and blessings to you. And if you could just tap that all notifications button, because on YouTube, because I am random when it comes to doing lives. I do it as often as I can, but I definitely always want to give out some valuable content and not just come on here, outside of being moved and having something to contribute to the platform. So thank you. As widowed father of a daughter, I've never had the mind to think that I can teach her things I've never lived. That was my wife's role. Bingo. That part right there. Okay. So no, definitely. And that's great that you acknowledge that, because you leave room for someone else to be able, that's trusted, that has something to pour into your daughter. You leave room for something for people that are knowledgeable and established in their roles to do that. So amen to that. Okay. I got one more video, y'all, and then we're gonna get on up out of here. So I'm looking at about an hour today. Hey. And again, we're talking about men in their masculinity, and how women are not really, overall, they're really not responding in a really great way, on a positive note. They're getting a lot of pushback, right? And a lot of giving a lot of opposition, because I think a lot of it's just a lot of women don't understand it because they weren't raised in it. If you're coming primarily from a single mother home, how do you know what masculinity is supposed to look like? And that's why, even if you're a single mother, it is very important and very imperative that if, that hopefully the father of your children can be definitely involved in their lives to the point where they're not relying on other masculine energy to teach them. But everybody is not so fortunate, or circumstances don't always support that. And with that, I will say that it's important on who we choose as single moms. It matters the type of influences and male energy and masculine energy we bring around our children. First of all, our children are yearning for that. Whether you have a son or a daughter, they yearn in different ways. They get different things from it. But the point of the matter is that's a balance that is needed, and it's necessary. And if you upset that balance, and as that single parent, you're not making good decisions and picking people to pour into your children's lives, or just to set a good example, right, for them based off of how they live their lives, their behavior, etc., etc. That's our responsibility, because at the end of the day, these kids didn't ask to be here. And it matters. It matters who we choose. It matters why we choose them. And it also matters that we establish a balance, and we don't lead our children to believe that once we get into a new relationship, or that we're entertaining or courting, right, that they don't matter, that they're not a priority. There's a very, very delicate balance. But you know what? If you truly love your children, that's going to show through, and it's going to come and manifest no matter what decisions you make, good or bad. Now, they may perceive it and criticize your behavior. You may receive it differently, but guess what? Kids know when they be in love. People know when their love is true. They know when their love is authentic. They know when somebody is just, they're genuinely invested in them. So with that being said, let's go into this last video. And I just want to say, this is my little spirit twin right here. She was able to articulate and do it so well and so authentically, what I couldn't have said any better, right? But I agree with this young lady. So let's continue.
Yes, I'm gonna say it. Most women want masculine men. I can't speak for everybody, okay? Most women want a man who's a provider. Most women want to feel safe with a man. If a woman's anything like me, they tired of being strong all the time. They want a man that they could depend upon, a man who's independent, a man who leads his life well, and who's strong, and who's courageous, man she can trust. Y'all, I'm indecisive. I want a man personally who can make decisions for me. Most women want a man who is not as emotional as they are. Most women want a man who's stable. Most women want a man who's strong-minded. Most women want a man who's assertive. Most women want a man who is dominant. Most women want a man who is wise. I think when it all comes down to it, a lot of women are afraid of this kind of man. Maybe they've been hurt by this kind of guy. Maybe they've seen somebody else get hurt by this kind of guy, and therefore prefer men to have more feminine traits. And that's okay. Yes, I'm going to say it.
And I want to even go a step further to add that I think a lot of women are threatened or feel intimidated by masculine men because they weren't taught what to look for, or they have been taught to interpret a man's masculinity as aggression, right? As being assertive, as being narcissistic, as if women nowadays are walking around thinking that the only thing that they have to do is exist in order to get a bag, a ring, a family, babies, and inheritance, right? So, yeah, the math ain't mathing on that, but I wanted to, I loved how she said, we weren't put here. We were not designed as women to take the whole load. We have our roles. We have our assignments, right? Things, characteristics that we are responsible for when it comes to making decisions on relationship with our children and with our significant other. And so, yeah, short and sweet. I'm not getting ready to go too off deep into in it any more than I already have. I think I've shown different angles of what masculinity can be interpreted like, what it can look like. At the end of the day, women, even if you haven't been taught that, I will go as far as to say that you will still know. You just may perceive it and interpret it as something else, but you'll know it when you see it, right? You'll know it. It don't always feel good. It has to be a learned experience if you've never been taught that. It's something if it's never been modeled for you or on your behalf, and in front of you, then it's going to look strange when it shows up. And we're living in such a very sensitive era that nobody can say anything to anybody without, feeling like you're disrespected or offended. And when you have a man that is so sure of himself, it makes some people very uncomfortable, right? You could walk into a room and read the room, and a masculine man, just like a feminine woman, that her energy stands out, her presence, her posture, how she is walking, how she's carrying herself will tell a lot about her as well as a man. Again, you will know, right? And so with that being said, y'all, let's go through the chat. Hey, DJ Memphis, thank you for being here. I want to say I appreciate my chat. Thank you. I almost forgot. So I hit 500 subscribers. Thank everybody. I appreciate y'all. This is just the beginning, right? But I'm grateful for every last one of them. And I also stated that I will be doing a giveaway You have to be present and you need to be in the chat in order to qualify. So I'm going to pick one man and one woman. I got a number. My chat is not big today. So I got a number between 1 and 20. And we're going to go ahead and do the women first today. I think I did the man first last time. And so what number, if you get the number, whoever gets it first will be the person that oh, look at Bolo done popped in the house. Listen, with the eyeballs. I ain't getting ready to mess with you today. Good day. So the number that I have in my head, the first one that types it in the chat will receive it. And then you just drop your Cash App in the comments. And then I'm going to just Cash App it to you right away. Right. So listen, y'all already typing. Hold on a second. I haven't established the number yet for the females. So, okay, go ahead. For the females, go ahead and put the net in the first one that I see. That'll be who gets it. Y'all better start typing in some numbers. Because my chat froze. I think my chat froze, y'all. What kind of foolishness is this? I'm going to give out some money. Okay, so no. Keep going. Keep going. Y'all keep going. You're cold. Everybody's cold. Keep going. See, I like it that it's small and intimate. Who keeps putting 24? Bolo, this is for the women. That's why you shouldn't come in and then start typing right away before you get context. Audrey, you got it, babe. It was 9. It was 9. Bolo in here just typing. We doing the women first. I said women. Bolo just throwing the. That's my Bolo. That is my Bolo. Oh, Lord Jesus. So congratulations, Audrey. Drop your Cash App in the, and I got to do this one at a time, y'all, and then we'll do the men, because listen, I mess around and be giving it to Audrey's great auntie on her cousin side if I don't concentrate on what I'm doing. Bolo is funny. Okay. Congratulations to the beautiful Miss Audrey Cathcart. Oh, okay. That's right. See, Mama was looking over you today. So if you don't mind, Miss Audrey, did you put it in there already? I just need, do you have Cash App, Miss Audrey? Okay, so while you getting that together, let's go ahead and do the men. Y'all don't start typing numbers in just yet. Give me a second to think of one. So it'll be 1 through 20 again, and go. All the gentlemen, we did it for the women. Miss Audrey Cathcart, she was able to get it first, and the number was 9. So I have a different number, and now we're doing it for the gentlemen. I like DJ. Look at DJ. I need for you to cut it out. I'm an automatic. Bolo, where you at? DJ, that is not right. I'm going to have to establish rules. Oh, my goodness. It ain't nobody but you and Bolo. Oh, I cannot with you. Oh, you and Bolo are hilarious. All right, Bolo, you got it. See, DJ. I thought you was gonna get it, DJ, first, but it is 19. The number is 19. Oh, that is hilarious. So, okay, so congratulations to Bolo Live Show. Even though you gonna pop in with the eyeballs as soon as I say raffle. Oh, I don't think I said raffle, but whatever I said, you knew it was giveaway, give back, whatever it is. So, Miss Audrey, did you put in your okay? So I need for Miss Audrey to get on me and her get on the same level, and I need your Cash App. I need your Cash App, or if you have PayPal or whatever, you just let me know, right? And Bolo, do you have a Cash App, or I can do it to your PayPal? Miss Ann, oh my goodness. I hope I said it. I hope I said I'm almost positive I did, but I'm gonna feel bad if I didn't say 1 to 20 before. Oh no, DJ Memphis. There was timing was everything. Timing was everything. You were right on Bolo's heels, but he started going ahead of you by one. And while you were going one by one, and that's how you got. But so PayPal, okay, I got you on the PayPal. And there we go. I'm sorry if I missed it. Okay. Let's see. Blossoming Woman. Oh, I love that. I love it. I love it. All righty. Okay. Well, we're done. I'm gonna get you after because I gotta look you up, Bolo. So you know how to reach me. But I think I have what I need in order to give it to you. So yes, again, I want to thank everybody. I appreciate y'all. I appreciate you being here. I appreciate you participating. Congrats to those that were here and that was able to be blessed for me celebrating my 500 subs. So yeah, that's what we doing. That's what we doing. Well, I appreciate y'all. I'm not gonna, drag it out anymore. Thank you for everybody that has been here, for all of the links that have been dropped. Thanks to my moderators. Welcome to the new mods on deck. I appreciate you. And yeah, with that, we're going to get on up out of here, y'all. I appreciate you. Peace and blessings. And I do have an outro. Be nice if it was like smooth and ready to go, right? Bye, y'all.